Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for choosing to watch my video. Today I'm bringing a little Halloween magic to Dollar Tree Christmas trees by turning them into cute candy corn trees. With just a few easy steps and some inexpensive supplies, you can create a sweet seasonal decoration that's perfect for any space. I'll also share other variations using their Halloween trees. Let's get started. For this project, I'll be using 3 Christmas trees from Dollar Tree, a bamboo skewer, this is one of the longer ones. I'll also be using Rust-Oleum spray paint in the color Real Orange and Sun Yellow. And I'll also be using some permanent adhesive. To begin, what I'm going to do is take apart this Christmas tree. So I'm going to set these off to the side and this off to the side as well, the bottom piece. And then I'm going to start unraveling the tree. Now, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't just trim this off to start with. Okay. I'm just going to cut off this little bit here and discard that. But I do want to go ahead and keep this thread here that's around the tree. So I am going to work to go ahead and wrap this up. And this just pulls off really easily. Let me pull it this way. And then I'm just going to wrap the thread here. It does want to get caught up from time to time, so I just take it and pop it off when it starts doing that. Okay, I think I've gotten to where I can take off the first set. So you just want to keep your set separated. And I believe there's 5 sets on each tree. And the first 2 sets look pretty similar. The tree fully taken apart here. I think it took me probably about 6-7 minutes to break down the full tree, and this part here is kind of knotted up, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off too and discard it, and then set this to the side. I'm going to go ahead and break down the rest of these trees. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this and the other poles as well, and then I'll be back with the next step. So I've gotten all 3 trees taken apart, and so I've already determined some of what I want to do with the colors that I'm going to spray paint. So each tree has one of these along with, I'm going to call these number 1. So they have one of these long pieces. So we have 3 here that I'm going to use all still at the top of the tree. So this bundle of 1 and this top piece are going to be white. Section 2 and 3 are going to be orange, and section 5 is going to be yellow. Now section 4, I kind of want to split it up in between the orange and the yellow, just because I want more orange than yellow. That's just a preference thing. If you're recreating this project and you just want to split them up and just do 4 and 5, the bundle in yellow, you can most certainly do so. So now, how I'm going to determine this is that I know that I used 3 trees, so I'm going to portion out 3 bundles of 6 to begin with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have 3 trees that I used in the beginning, so I'm going to do 3 bundles of 6. Now I still have some left over, so what I'm going to do is split them as evenly as I can across these 3. And let's see how many I have. So I have 6. So I'm going to go ahead and separate them out like that. So now I have 3 bundles of 8. And this may make a little bit more sense when I come to putting the tree together, but please just bear with me for now. So now what I want to do is determine how much of this bundle here I want to make orange and how much yellow. And okay, so this is 16 pieces. So I'm going to do 16p of 4 orange and 8p of 4 yellow. I hope that makes sense. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take these outside and spray paint them. And I'm going to make sure that I keep them separated. These ones I don't have to worry about because they're already white. So I'm going to go ahead and get these spray painted up, and then I will be back with the next step. I'm outside spraying the limbs from the branches from the tree. I just have them in some boxes here to try to contain some of the paint from going all over the place. So I'm going to wait about an hour, and then I'm going to flip them and then do the other sides of them. And then I think I said it needs to sit for about 24 hours for the paint to cure. We'll see about that. So while I'm waiting for the branches to dry, I'm going to go ahead and work on the trunk portion of the tree. And I have this long skewer here. It measures about 31 and 5/8 inches. But I am going to go ahead and cut off about an inch of it here. And I'm just taking off the pointed end of it. Okay. I'm just going to give this a little sand up. So now what I want to do is go ahead and insert this bamboo skewer inside of these poles. I'm going to go ahead and use all 3 of them. I don't know that I will need that much length, but I can cut it off if I don't necessarily need it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of evenly distribute this in between all 3. And I'm just going to make a mark here so I know where to stop when inserting this. So I'm going to use some Gorilla Glue adhesive, and then I also have some masking tape here and my hot glue gun. And how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to just squeeze some in the end of this here. And then I'm going to take it and just push it up the inside. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Till I get to my mark. And, oh, I didn't think this all the way through. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to run a bead all the way along. Okay, almost to my next mark. And I'm just going to go ahead and slide this up. Now, I'm going to use some masking tape. And I'm going to put some hot glue around this joint. And then I'm going to use some masking tape over that joint. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. Actually, with this one, I can go in the end like I did previously. Excuse me. And then just add a little bit more. Don't stick your finger in the glue. Okay. Just get a piece of tape. And go around this join. And I'm just gonna, this is set now. So I'm just gonna let the glue dry and wait for the branches to finish drying so we can start putting it together. Now, before I go, I did want to also mention that this is the first time that I'm doing it in with the actual metal from the trees. Typically, I would use dowels from Walmart, and I use about the 5/8 inch. I just don't have any on hand, so I decided to go ahead and try it with these and see how that would work. So if we make it to the end of the video, then it worked. If not, then this video will never see the light of day because you won't know that it exists. But I am hoping that this method does work. So that's that. I'll be back once the branches are dry. The spray paint has had a chance to dry, so now what I'm ready to do is to start preparing the branches to go ahead and put on the trees. Now, we have them still separated into their different sizes. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Into their different sizes. And so I'm going to start at the top of the tree. So we have 3 pieces here, because I started out with 3 trees. And so I'm going to separate this stack into 3 pieces as well. So this leaves us with an even number of 4 for each stack. Now what I need to do is to pair up some of these pieces because the tree trunk is a little bit thinner than what I'm used to. I usually use, again, I'm pretty sure I said it in the last clip, but I usually use a 5/8 inch dowel from Walmart. I think it's like a 36 inch dowel, but I don't have any of those on hand, so I'm gonna use what I have. So what I'm going to do is take 2 of these small ones and put them together and just twist the end of them a couple of times. And I'm going to be using pliers just because I'm having some soreness in my hands. These are pretty easy to twist together. It's just, I've said it before, but I have issues with my hands, so I'm going to use this to do so. So I'm going to do these 2 and these 2. And I'm going to do the same with these 2 stacks as well. So we have them ready. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set these 2 to the side for now. And I'm going to be working with, actually, I want to work with these 3 and then 2 more stacks. Okay? So next I'm going to take the trunk, and what I want to do is place these sticking up from the top like how they originally were, and then I'm going to take these and stick these up at the same level coming from the top, 2 of these, and I'm going to evenly distribute them, so 1 on each side like this. And I know this is a little bit hard to see because it's all white on white, but I'm going to try to evenly distribute them, all sticking up this way. Then what I want to do is come in and have these pointing down. Okay? And you just want to kind of evenly distribute them, but they are on wire, so they'll be able to kind of maneuver around the top here. Okay? And I did get a little bit ahead of myself because I do need this, and it's still wrapped up on the side. So the reason why we saved this is because now we're going to be using it to put the trees back together. So I'm going to take a little bit of, tie this on first. Okay, once I have it tied on, I'm going to go ahead and dab some hot glue on the knot so that doesn't come undone. And then let me cut some of this tail off. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is take a little glue onto the pole, and I'm just going to wrap this so it's a little bit more secure and that I know it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so we've got that secured on there now. Now we can go ahead and start. And I think it might be easier to see if I do it like this. So I'm coming up to the edge and I'm pointing these down. And since I have the pole wrapped, I'm going to go ahead and secure these with just a little bit of hot glue. And I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. So you can see that there. And then I'm going to come in with this one now, and I'm going to flip it so it's sticking up. I'm going to place some glue. And the same thing on the opposite side. And I am using my thumb as sort of a measurement in between this area here as to where I want it to land on the pole, if that makes any sense, or the trunk. And then I'm just going to place these last three. Ooh, the glue got me. Okay, so now we've gotten those slightly secure on there with the hot glue. I'm going to come around and I'm just going to double check where the exact top of my hole is here. So I'm gonna use the end of my thumb so that I know that I need to start wrapping from there. So I'm gonna start wrapping this, and I'm just gonna try to pull it as tight as I can. And I'm just gonna wrap it. And I think I'm gonna turn this around so it's a little bit easier for me. Okay, I think this will be a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this and I'm gonna use my fingers down here to twirl it, and I'm just gonna wrap, pulling it as tight as I can. Okay, and I'm looking for that thumb measurement again. And I'm pretty happy with this. So next what I'm going to do is just do some hot glue right in that area. And I'm going to wrap this until all of that glue is completely covered. Okay, it's covered, but it did squish out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my spatula here and just stick that on there so that the glue gets flattened. Okay, and so I know this is looking a little bit crazy, but bear with me. It's gonna look like something when we're done. So now I'm going to lift up these ends, and I'm gonna come down in between, and I'm gonna wrap it on the actual pole to secure it even further. And then I'm gonna put a little dab of hot glue, and I'm just gonna cover it over again. Use my spatula. And there we go. So now I'm gonna push these up, and I'm gonna come in with these two, and this time I'm going to face them down, and from here on out they're just going to go down all the way. So I'm going to evenly distribute these again. So one's going to go on this side and one's going to go on this side. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue here, and I am coming in between these two branches, and I'm just going to tack that into place, and then I'm going to come on the opposite side. So it's going to be in between these two branches here, and I'm going to place some glue. And just tack that into place. Okay, and now I'm just going to take my yarn here, I'm not even sure what to call it, sorry, and I'm just going to wrap around again, pulling it as tight as I can get it. Now you may see them start to slide a little bit. You can kind of stabilize it a little bit with your hand here until you get it wrapped a few times. Okay, and then you just start spinning it and pulling it as tight as you can. Okay, I'm going to check it against my thumb again, and I'm pretty satisfied with the length of that. So now I'm going to come in with the glue again and just run it down the length of it, just a little strip. know if you can see that. Oh, it's kind of blown out. Sorry. But I'm going to wrap it so that it covers this strip of glue. Okay. And we're going to pull these up. And then I'm going to wrap underneath again. And then I'm going to tack it. There's a little dab right here at the bottom and go over that until it's covered. And flatten it. Okay, so now we're ready to go on to the orange. So again, to help me remember, I just divide it into the amount of trees that I've used, if I'm making any sense. So I used 3 trees, so I'm going to separate this out into 3 even piles. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this one's going to have 7, and these 2 are going to have 6. So we're going to work on it like this. So now I know I'm just going to separate these out into now 3 pieces so that I can wrap them together. And you can do this. There's no right or wrong way of how to do this. You just want to make sure that your pieces are evenly distributed around the pole here. And so however you do that, and then you also just want to make sure that the tree is actually tapering out so it looks like a tree. However you accomplish that is however you accomplish that. I just found that this method works good for me. I'm going to try to rely on these pliers a little bit more, or I'm going to be very sorry later on. So I'm going to do these 3. Okay. Three, and then this one, what did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to leave one separate. And just wrap these other ones here. Since this one has 4, I'm going to wrap this one in this group last. We're going to start with this one, and it's going to be the same procedure. I'm going to find the openings and try to evenly distribute them. Since there's only 3, you just line it up the best you can. Okay, and then we wrap. So I'm going to wrap. You may need to stabilize them a little bit while you get this pulled as tight as you can. And I'm looking for that thumb length again. Go around here one more time, and then I'm going to start just wrapping it. I'm going to take my glue, just do a strip, and then wrap to cover it. Bring them up. And wrap. All right. So now I'm gonna, since I have 3 of these and I just put 3 on, I'm gonna go in between. And for the last one, I'm just gonna, again, evenly distribute it around. Since I have 4 pieces here in this row, I'm gonna evenly distribute them around. Okay. So now I'm gonna set this off to the side and see what we have going on here. Leave that alone. Okay, so let's see how many pieces we have. So we have 22 pieces in this one. So 7, 7, and 8. Yeah, if my math is right. And move this over here. I'm going to do the same thing. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. So 2, 2, and 1. And we're just going to double them up. Okay, so this one has the 8 pieces, so each one of them gets a partner. Okay, and then we just bring the tree back in and do it the same how we've done it before. Just evenly distribute them around and then wrap and secure it. I do like to stagger them, so if I can go in between, I will, just so the tree has a fuller appearance. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off this set off camera because I've done it several times so you can see what I'm doing. Then when it comes to separating out this set here, I will be back with how I've separated them. So I'm back with row 4 here, and if you remember, I did split them, and you can see that now clearly that I did split to have part of 4 go with yellow and the other part to go with orange. So each one of these is 8 little branches. So I'm going to go ahead and just double them up again so that we have 4 that they could be evenly distributed around the trunk. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on doing this, and then I will add these to the tree, and then I'll come back with the next set. So I'm to the last bundle now, and each one of them has 8. So there was a total of 26 pieces. And so I'm just going to slide these last 2 pieces into these piles and go from there. So I'm going to start again twisting these 2 by 2 and then evenly distribute them around the trunk. And then I will be back with the next step. Oh, also, I left this up here because at the last second, this decided it was going to bundle up, but because I saved all of them from the tree, I can go ahead and just discard this knotted mess, and I'm going to start with this one here. And I just tied it on where I needed it to start, kind of like at the beginning of where when I started at the top, and put some hot glue down on it and twisted it around, and I was good to go. So I've gotten the tree fully done now, and as you can see here, I have an excess amount, or what I feel is an excess amount of the original trunk down here. So what I'm going to do is actually take it apart because I don't want it this long. And then once I get that taken off, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, clean up the glue, because I'm sure there's a spillage of glue down there. But what I'm facing now is these white areas here. Now I'm thinking what I'm going to do is go ahead and take it outside and just, you know, tush some spray into these to color these the appropriate color. It's not that noticeable on screen, but it's pretty noticeable to me here in person. So I think I would like it much better if I went ahead and did that. So I'll go ahead and do you know, the yellow down here, and then when it comes to this area up here with the orange, then of course I'll switch over to orange. Also, I do see that I need to do just a couple of little touch-ups here that are still showing as white. So once I get all of that done and it is dry, I will come back in and show you what it looks like. I've gotten the tree all touched up in the center areas here. It's actually been a couple of days, so this is now fully dry. I did go ahead and spray paint this part white, even though it is white, because I had the white out already and I was already doing this part, so I figured I may as well just do it all. And the way I did that was I just kind of bagged off the different areas so that the paint, like the yellow paint, wouldn't go into the orange paint. So I started with the yellow, did the bottom, covered that up, uncovered this part, did the orange. Hopefully you get it. Now, I also went ahead and put this base back on it and spray painted the rest of the stem and the base yellow, as you can see here. Because with this one, the way I particularly want to use it is I want to put it in my yard. Now, you could do that one of 2 ways. You can, you know, set it up with it on the base, or you can take the base off and kind of just stick this rod down into the ground. And I think that's what I will most likely do. But for picture purposes, I went ahead and left this on here. So how I like to do these trees, and I will try to do it the best I can with it sideways, is I pull down the branches, and this is just a particular preference, and then I like to kind of curl the end up. Let me turn it, actually let me do one of these so you can kind of see. I turn the end up, okay, like this, kind of like a J, if you can see that there. So I just pull them kind of straight down, and I do that. And that's the way that I like to fluff the tree out. Now, also what I was saying earlier was typically I use the 5/8 inch dowel rod. So if you're lucky enough to have these trees come to your store, which I didn't, I actually had to order mine online, so I did order a case of them. This is what that looks like. So this is the 5/8 inch dowel rod from Walmart that I use. And I made, this one is with 3 trees also. So I made 2 like this and then a black one for the fall Halloween time. I think this one, it says it's a Halloween tree, but I really think that it could possibly pass for a fall tree, not necessarily all Halloween, if you don't mind the black of it, which I don't. So this is another option here for you. And for this one, with this base, what I did is I took one of those scalloped containers from Dollar Tree, and I think it's in the party aisle, and I spray painted it. This is supposed to be like a hammered, but it doesn't look that hammered to me. It's a hammered spray paint in brown. And what I did was I took some Cementol and I put that in there along with this is a PVC pipe, sorry, that I cut down in order to be able to slide this rod down in here. Now this is a 3/4 inch PVC pipe, so I set it so that the tree would slide all the way down like that, and then I can pull my limbs down and do the curl up that I like to do so on them. But this is filled with concrete rather than always buying the pebbles, because it's just more cost effective for me to do it this way. So this is another idea as far as, instead of buying a whole bunch of stones from Dollar Tree and always putting them down in there, just mix up some of that Cementol and pour it down in here, and you can have weighted bases for your trees. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and fluff up these trees, and I will show you how these trees look also with their bases. And you guys let me know if you're interested in seeing how I do this, since Christmas time is coming around. I do already have some Christmas trees made from a couple of years ago, but I can always add more. But if you want to see, you know, how I do this, I pretty much explained it, but if you want to see it, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to make a video on how I do that. I forgot to say while I was filming that these 3 long pieces that I put at the top, I typically just like to bend them over and then curl up the end. And that way you kind of have a tapered top, but then also it's a little bit more substantial. Oops. Also, it's a little bit more substantial if you want to add a topper to the top of it. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. And then also, I have the other trees that I made. And this one I did decorate, I just don't have a topper for it. I didn't think I needed one. So that's the tallest, and I believe I used 6 trees on that one. And then that's the middle-sized one. And this one over here is also 3 trees. And they're in that container there. And just for size reference, I do have one of the black ones that you can see sitting next to. The black one is just the regular tree put together, and then the candy corn tree is with the 3 trees put together. I hope you can see that okay.
And that's a wrap on our DIY candy corn tree. I hope you had fun crafting along with me. If you recreate this project and have any other Halloween ideas, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more DIY inspiration, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Halloween decorating!